For more than a week now, we've brought you stories from the 18th Midwest Honor Flight trip to Washington, D.C. Tonight, we continue our special series of reports with a story from the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall. 83 of the 84 veterans who made that honor flight trip served in Vietnam, and many saw the memorial for the very first time this trip. Kenneth Becker from Le Mars, Iowa, served in the Marines and in the Navy. He went to the wall to rub the name of one of his friends who died in the war onto a piece of paper. And to this day, Becker carries a piece of that comrade with him.
They always said, don't make friends when you're on the way to a war, and you never listen to that. I was able to get his bracelet, and I wear this quite often when I go to events. As a member of the Legion Riders there in Le Mars, I always managed to put my bracelet on and me and Charlie go for a ride.
KTIV's Connor Trett was in Washington, D.C. on that honor flight and brings us the story of local veterans' visit to that wall.
Kenneth Becker and Wayne Thiemann spent their day looking for some old friends. Becker, a veteran of the Marines and Navy, rubbed the name Charles F. Bigham on a piece of paper. He already had one, but returned for another.
I met him in boot camp. We went through boot camp and went through the training with 1st Armored. Going over to Vietnam, we'd spend the evening just talking about back home and the girls we knew and what we were going to do when we got home.
Bigham was killed in the line of duty in September of 1967, with less than 2 months left in his tour of duty.
Right there. G down there, right there.
Wayne Thiemann, a veteran of the Marines on his 5th trip to the wall, was finally able to rub the names of 2 men that he knew.
You know, you think about them, but now I've got them. I've been wanting to get them for a while, just haven't been able to do it. That's one thing I wanted, was those 2. It's just when I go through my photo album, they're there. I know, I'll remember them, what they did, how they were.
Many of the veterans I spoke to described their first visit to the wall as emotional. Some even called it cathartic.
At first it was very emotional. The first time I came, I couldn't go close to it. I stayed away. It took a lot of them a long time to get here, just because of that reason, because of the memories. And it does bring up them old wounds, them old memories.
Memories never to be forgotten. In Washington, D.C., Connor Trett, KTIV News 4.
KTIV has documented more from the Midwest Honor Flight earlier this month, and you can find those stories right now at KTIV.com.